Welcome to the latest Wax Ecstatic pack break. I'm your host, Matt Sammon, and we've got a fun set of packs to open up for this show. And you can hear the podcast this upcoming Friday. It's going to be a good one, too. And then, of course, Friday, April the 24th, as we go back to 1993 and take a look at the Topps set. It was a set that featured a lot of throwback elements to the Topps baseball cards. In fact, there are a lot of factors that kind of line up with the 1971 Topps set, although, as we've discussed recently, the 71 Topps set, a work of art compared to what Topps had put out back in 1993, but still some pretty good cards and a pretty good set as well. Now, when you're buying packs from 1993 nowadays, normally you can get them, I wouldn't say a dime a dozen, but you can get them at pretty good prices, except for Topps. Now, there are some packs from 1993, say Bowman or maybe Fleer Ultra or Upper Deck. Maybe they cost you $1 or $2 to track down. But 1993 Topps Series 1 packs are going through the roof these days. If you buy a lot of packs, you're probably paying $5 to $6 a pack. If you buy a box, what you could have bought for just $25 back in 1993, probably less than that, say $15, $18 back in, 2000. It's now going to cost you anywhere from $60 to $100. And it's the same thing even with vending cases of Series 1 93 Topps. Most vending boxes, you buy them for $8, $10, $12, as we mentioned on a recent show. A pretty affordable option for set building, but not 1993 Topps Series 1. Now those, much like the wax boxes, will cost you about $60 to $100 depending on where you're getting them from. Meanwhile, Series 2 vending boxes you can pick up for $8 or $9, just like any other junk wax era vending box from Topps. So why is a junk wax era set charging such a premium on the retail market these days? Well, it's all because of this guy. Yes, Jeets, Derek Jeter. And it's not necessarily because of this guy. It's because of this particular card. This is a Topps Gold card. And this is what is driving the frenzy for sales of unopened packs and boxes of 93 Topps Series 1. Now, this card I actually bought back in 1993. I pulled it from a pack in 1993. I very wisely put it in a plastic page back then, and not that long ago I very carefully moved it to a screw-down, lockdown holder. And this is one of only a handful of cards that I probably should go get graded, because by the naked eye, this is probably a 9. If it's anything less, I'd be stunned, but it's probably at the least a 9. By the way, this is up for sale if anyone is interested, and I'll work out a great deal with you. But anyways, it's this particular card that is driving the frenzy of 93 Topps. Of course, it's Derek Jeter. And there's a lot of love for Derek Jeter. Now that he is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, this card, and in particular the Topps Gold version of it, is going through the roof right now and making things very difficult for collectors who just want to collect a pack or a box of 1993 Topps Series 1. So, while we've got some good cards here, while we've got some good players, everyone's looking for one of these. Let's see if we can find one in these packs of 93 Topps Series 1. Now, as you can see, Topps going with the plastic wrappers back then. And as we'll look at the cards, full color photos on the front and the back. And not only the Jeter Rush, but as you can see here on the wrapper, the Topps Gold baseball card in every pack. So you are guaranteed a gold card every time you open one up. Would you get one of Derek Jeter? Well, let's see. Ricky Bonas, not quite Derek Jeter, or a reasonable facsimile of. Here's Paul Sorrento very early on in his career. My favorite player, Dave Stieb, who, of course, in 1993 wasn't actually playing with the Blue Jays. He was signed by the White Sox then. Tommy Green, one of the unsung heroes of the Phillies pitching staff back in 93, and like the good old Southern boy he is, big old tin of chew right there in his pocket. Lance Johnson of the White Sox. Here's our gold card here. Franklin Stubbs, rocking what is now the retro but still very popular Milwaukee Brewers warm-up jacket. Gary Sheffield looking at yet another pop-up in San Diego. Greg Harris of the Red Sox, one of the few pitchers pitching with the big old goofy eyeglasses back then. We've got Tim, my brother from another mother, Sammon. Bip Roberts. There's a big card for 1993. Frank Thomas. You can still get some value out of that these days. Bill Wegman of the Brewers. We've got Mark Langston near the end of his glory days with the Angels. Mike Greenwald of the Red Sox. And Damian Easley, a young Damian Easley with the Angels, who would have a pretty good pro career. All right, let's see what we can find in pack number 2. Now, even though these packs are at a premium compared to other 1993 packs, some of the young stars, such as a Frank Thomas, and also the chase for the gold cards and the Derek Jeter, do make it, I think, in my opinion, worth every penny. Here's a Junior Felix, who played numerous positions for the Angels, sliding into home plate here. This is a very 1973 Topps card look here, where there's so much action going on in this picture. You actually have, it looks like a Cleveland Indians catcher taking up all the action of Junior Felix sliding in to home plate there. That's pretty funny. All right, we've got Dwayne Henry of the Reds, Randy Myers of the Padres. Let me back up from the camera there a little bit. Scott Scudder, a great 90s baseball name. Cal Daniels, then with the Cubs. All right, our Topps Gold. All right, it's not Jeter, but it's another Hall of Famer, Dennis Eckersley. Very nice. Danny Tartabull, about to flame out with the Yankees. Scott Champerino, another great 90s baseball name. Tim Scott of the Padres. Got a nice little action shot of Lloyd McClendon rounding third at Shea Stadium there. Future Pirates manager. Rich DeLucia of the Mariners. Greg Hibbard pontificating on the meaning of life for the White Sox. Henry Rodriguez with the Dodgers. We've got Hippolito Pichardo, another great 90s baseball name. And Dave Cochran. All right, 2 down, 3 to go. Let's see what we can unearth in this pack here. All right. Oh, we got a black gold card. Look at that. Now, this was another insert that we'll talk about in the show. This was another hook to get people buying these cards. And this is the Gary Sheffield black gold card. There were also redemption cards, and I believe I'd have to look up the number of cards that were in each subset. But this was the added incentive. As if a gold card wasn't good enough, the black gold was a nice insert card that Topps was putting out back then. We've got Ultra Utility Man Rene Gonzalez, Doug Jones. Boy, that looks uncomfortable with the Astros in mid-delivery. Jay Howell here with the Dodgers. Let's see. Thomas Howard with the Indians. That's a pretty good action shot there, making a nice diving catch. Charlie Hayes of the Yankees. Jeff Houston of the Rangers. We've got Roberto Hernandez of the White Sox. Boy, I've got some horror stories of him with the Devil Rays a few years later. Derek Lilliquist. We've got Kevin Kozlowski of the Royals. Todd Burns of the Rangers. Archie Cianfrocco. Boy, talk about a great 90s name with the Montreal Expos there. Carlos Garcia of the Pirates. We've got Brian Hunter of the Braves and Kirk McCaskill of the White Sox. So kind of a dud pack there except for the black gold Gary Sheffield. That's a nice little keepsake. All right. Black gold is nice. It's not Jeter gold. Let's see what we can find in this pack here. All right, our gold card is Melito Perez, sans Jerry Curl, because of course he was pitching for the Yankees then. Pat Borders, World Series hero for the Blue Jays in 1992. Scott Ruskin. We've got Jimmy Leyritz. Nice action shot of Roberto Alomar, midair double play, future Hall of Famer. Melo Rojas. Tom Henke. Boy, I got a bunch of Blue Jays in this pack. Dan Plesac, now Major League announcer with MLB Network. Kent Merker. We got Bob Malachy. Henry Cotto, also pontificating about the meaning of life. Greg Vaughn, another future Devil Ray dud, then with the Milwaukee Brewers. Big Ben McDonald, that's a guy who kind of fell a little short of expectations compared to other young arms in the day, such as Andy Pettit and Mike Mussina, but we'll talk a little bit about him, I'm sure. Joe Grahey of the Angels, and John Habian of the Yankees. All right, we're down to the last pack here. Let's see what gems we can find here. Oh, we got another Mark Langston card, I see. All right. Kenny Lofton is our gold card. Kenny Lofton, who I recently saw an article on, I believe 538 did it, the Hall of Pretty Darn Good Players. I think Kenny Lofton is one of those fringe, you can make an argument for the Hall of Fame, but probably not. Bruce Hurst of the Padres. We've got Dave Fleming. Boy, talk about young arms that kind of petered out. This was one of the hot rookie cards back in the early 90s, but his career didn't quite match it. We've got Officer Karkovice of the White Sox, Julio Valera of the Angels, Melito Perez again, Louis Soho. We did a little biography on him. Every time I hear his name, I think of the band Rancid and their song Ruby Soho. So every time I see Louis Soho, I'm thinking Louis Soho. Esteban Beltre. We've got Kevin Wickander in the Doug Jones Hall of Uncomfortable Photos. Greg Harris again, Tim Salmon again, Bip Roberts, Dave Nilsson, Rick Reed, and then the Mark Langston. So you can see a little bit of a duplication here, just the production line. All right, so no Jeter Gold, which is unfortunate, but we did get, as I assembled the cards here, the Black Gold Gary Sheffield. And as we'll talk about in this program, as I just randomly take the Rennie Gonzalez card here, you know, great color action shots, top starting to simplify the design, giving way to more photo space. On the back, a nice, clean read, photos as well, full color photos on the back. And the cardstock, let's see if I can shine it in the light here a little bit. Topps went to the all-white cardstock again in 1992, but in 1993, a slightly better cardstock, and one that, as you can see, had a little bit of luminosity to it too. So even though it falls in the junk wax era time span, the 1993 Topps set is a good one for many reasons, which again, we'll get into in the show. And that is coming your way this Friday, April the 24th. And we are certainly looking forward to talking to you once again about some of these great cards and the chase for this particular gold card. Future teammates with the Yankees there, Chef and Jeter. We'll do that on our next podcast, which is coming our way again this Friday via Audio Boom and all of our platforms that pick up the RSS feed. I'm your host, Matt Sammon. Tune in noon Eastern this Friday as we talk about 93 Topps Series 1.